Whistle is a 2025 Irish-Canadian horror film directed by Corin and stars Dafne Keen, Sophie, Nelisse, Sky Yang, Jhaleil Swaby, and Ali Skovbye. I really hope I got those names right. Sorry if I didn't. The plot follows a group of high school kids who find a cursed Aztec death whistle that, when used, causes you to be killed by whatever it is that causes you to die in the future at the end of your life. I don't know why I find that so hard to explain, but I do. So I feel like this has to have been done before, the death whistle storyline, but I really can't think of anything, so I guess you could say it's a unique concept, an original story. The whistle itself is like very Goosebumps. It reminds me of one of those Goosebumps stories, to me at least. But this is R-rated supernatural horror, and it does definitely aim for a teen audience, but it's way too violent for a Goosebumps type story, so it's not really like that. The death whistle gimmick, might sound fun, but it's a gimmick, and I don't really think it's a great idea. I will say that the body count is solid, and some of the deaths were way gorier than I expected them to be, so there's that. I would have probably made some tweaks to how the whole whistle thing works, but I may be overthinking a movie about an Aztec death whistle. And I did think the effects work here was actually pretty solid. The practical stuff looks good, and when there's CGI, it looks good too. Tonally, though, this thing is kind of all over the place, and that's what kind of bothered me about it. At times, it's a lighthearted teen, early 2000s style supernatural horror, but then you have, a sort of main character that has like a traumatic backstory, of course, because it's the 2020s. And of course you have the early 2000s, generic character pitfalls too. I've seen worse, I really have, but the cast here is pretty lame, and that's really what gets me most of the time with these movies, man. A little effort here is made, at least, like, the sort of main character collects some pretty cool vinyl records, and I like seeing kids keeping that alive. That said, the actress's limited acting skills kind of held her character back from being, more than like surface level interesting, and this just hurts the whole movie. You do also have this guy here. He's the main character's cousin. I think he's kind of funny at times. He likes comic books. At least, he's entertaining, but it's kind of as good as it gets. Then you have Noah Haggerty, a villain that really seemed kind of out of place here because the movie didn't need a human villain at all. He is here, I guess, for extra conflict, but it just wasn't needed. Plus, he doesn't make any sense as a character. Like, he's a preacher of some sort who openly sells drugs to kids right out in front of the church. It's some pretty lazy writing, honestly. I did see sort of like an anti-hard drugs message, though, maybe geared towards younger people that I can appreciate. The best character and the one that could have kept this movie a little bit sharper, though, is a teacher played by Nick Frost. But he dies in the first act, so don't worry about that. Ultimately, I don't think this movie's very good. It has an early 2000s vibe, like I said, almost like a Final Destination type thing that can be fun. The writing is really what drags this down, and it's not a total lack of trying. There are some fun little details, like the main girl's records, and in the third act, the kids go to a yearly harvest celebration. So the movie definitely has like fall season vibes, and I would imagine this movie was originally intended to probably come out in October. My favorite part of the movie, though, probably won't be a surprise to people that know me, but was Iron Maiden playing in the credits. Sorry, just being honest. So I'm giving Whistle 1.5 out of 4 stars. It's got some decent gore. It attempts at times to be a little bit stylish, but it's just kind of like a too little too late type situation. The gimmick, again, doesn't do a lot for me. The writing left a lot to be desired. The acting is passable at best, with the lead being the worst of the crew. It's a decent effort made, but probably not something I would ever watch again. Cheers, guys, and I'll see you at the multiplex. Subscribe right now, please.